What's up, guys? Zan from the Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about ways to counter man coverage abilities, in particular, one step ahead. But before we get into the video, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys take the time to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the uploads coming your way here on the Zan Madden YouTube channel. If you guys want to take your game to the next level in Madden 21, check out my brand new strategy site, gridirongameplans.gg. Gridiron Game Plans is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every single Sunday in our Vault update, we take a look at topics in competitive Madden, show you guys the meta, and most importantly, how to counter the meta. That way you guys are equipped to use it or abuse it when you face it in online head-to-head gameplay. On top of that, your subscription includes not only the Vault content, but any and every offensive and defensive game plan on the website. And right now we've got our 4-6 game plan, which has a 3-3-5 focus, as well as breakdowns out of the 3-4 bear and 4-6 bear under. We also have our Washington football team offensive game plan with over 3 hours of content on the website, showing you guys how to attack all the popular man coverage setups, all the popular zone setups, beat the blitz, and bomb every single coverage in Madden 21. Go check it out. Everything included for one low price. Okay, guys, without further ado, let's talk about today's topic here on the YouTube channel. We're gonna be talking about the one step ahead ability. Now, right now, defensive abilities are the talk of the town here. A lot of pro players talking about man coverage abilities, in particular, one that we're gonna break down that is extremely overpowered. We're gonna be talking about that tomorrow in the Vault, not only showing you how that ability works, but also how to counter it and abuse it when you go up against it. Those are all going to be broken down in the Vault. But today we're talking about one step ahead. Now, one step ahead is one of the better man coverage abilities in the game, because what it does is it basically tells the defensive player to play the cut of the wide receiver. So if I were to play, you know, a regular in route, for instance, right here with Dontrell Inman, who's a low overall receiver, you're going to see here that Gilmore is going to run the route for him. You see, like, I can't throw that ball. He's going to basically run the route for him. And, you know, your ins, your slants, your outs, basically any route that cuts is going to be played and cheated on by that defensive back. So you see right there, Gilmore's in the zone. Let me go ahead and just run commit real quick, take him out of the zone. We'll go through a couple other routes that, you know, obviously it will shut down very easily. Basically, anything on your standard hot route tree is pretty well covered by this ability. If I were to play like a regular out route, like a 10-yard out route, you're gonna see here that he's going to play the cut. You see he's right there, breaks it up. Pretty easy, right? What if I play a slant? If they're playing off coverage, you think, okay, well, you know, let me go ahead and run a slant right here. Go to cut it. Nope, Gilmore's right there on it. You see right there, you know, against a low overall receiver, maybe he jars that loose a little bit more often than not. Slants are pretty good, but the problem is if they start to play press on you and they're running that ability and you try to go to a slant, it can be really problematic, because he's going to press him and then he's going to cheat on that route. And you see that it's just absolutely smothered and he's going to be able to make a play. A lot of players are going to play acrobat on top of one step ahead and make sure that they can get diving animations on top of the one step ahead cut, just in case it even looks open. Now, knowing the ability and what it does is always key, because you can counter what that ability does. Notice that it says, you know, it's going to play an improved animation on the cut of a route. So every route I've shown you here so far has basically been a one cut route. We show you, you know, the in route that it picked off, the out route that it picked off or played well, the slant that it breaks on. Those are all routes that have one cut in them. However, when you start to look at routes that have multiple cuts in them, you can actually abuse this ability pretty easily. So for instance, here, I'm going to click off Gilmore. I want to show you this little squared off in route. This is a route that breaks to the post and then flattens out again after a couple steps and gets a second cut. Any of these routes that essentially have two cuts in them are better off against this ability than routes that have one cut in them. So look through your playbook and try to find routes that have one cut. So what you're going to notice here is that Inman's going to break to the post and he's going to round off that cut again and flatten out across the middle on the dig. You're going to see that Gilmore is going to light up, and then he's going to give up separation on the second cut. You see right there that we're able to throw that ball to Inman, and because he has low catch and traffic, he drops it. But if you have a good catch and traffic player, you're going to be able to play that pretty well. Now, Gilmore's in the zone. I'm going to go ahead and play press and shade over the top, which is something a lot of players do. You know, I see a lot of players that will typically, you know, play purples and, you know, man up and things like that. But you're going to see here Gilmore now lit up. Here's the press. He's going to jump the first cut, then he gets beat on the second cut over the middle. Now, Gilmore is insane. He's got extra abilities, but you see right there that he basically got beat on that second cut and then made a diving cut here. So let's focus primarily on just the ability that he's got. You see that he's got that shutdown ability right now active, and that's the reason he got the pick. So let's go ahead and take him out of the zone real quick. And then go back to showing you that route again here, because it will very, very consistently beat the one step ahead ability. So let's say again here, we're going to play press, and then we're going to shade over the top. So that way, you know, in terms of how players would play, they're going to play cover one, get up in your face, shade over the top. So that way you don't try to throw slants and things like that because you think it's press, but they're bailing out over the top. Now you see right here, here we go, snap the ball. Cut number one, he's going to play well. Cut number two, not so much. You see right there, we're able to throw that ball. Inman, again, that's Dontrell Inman. That's, you know, nobody in terms of, you know, the best receivers in the game. You're going against the best man coverage corner in Madden right now here on this route. So that's an example of a route that has, you know, 2 cuts in it. That is pretty good. So what about a comeback route? Comeback route's also great because you have the outside release and then a cut straight up the field. That's 1 cut. And the DB will light up on that first cut, and then he'll give up the separation on the second cut. So here's man coverage off on a comeback. So he lights up, and then you can throw this ball right back, and you see here that you've got a pretty easy catch against that coverage. Now, what if they were to play press? Press and then shade over the top. So they're bailing out of that press look. You know, maybe you want to play that comeback route. So we'll go ahead and show you what happens here. Cut number 1, he lights up. Cut number 2, he lights up, but he's out of position because he's overplayed the first cut on the one step ahead ability. So those second cuts are always what are going to hurt the one step ahead ability. Now, you go through your playbook. Go through your playbook and search for routes. Not all double moves are going to work the same. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you from the jump. Not every single move that is a double cut is going to work. So as you kind of look through, like here's an example of like a C route. If I were to play like a C route against this ability, let me go ahead and put Gilmore over there on the left side. So that way we get that one-on-one. If I were to go ahead and play cover 1 against a C route, let's take a look. So McLaurin here. Cut number 1, he lights up. Cut number 2, the route's too flat, so he's able to react and play it. So you see right there, because the cuts both occurred so close to the line of scrimmage and it was an outbreaking route, he was able to kind of pick that off. So that's an example of a route that wouldn't work. So make sure you guys are just, you know, going through your playbook and labbing these routes before you actually take them in the game. I don't want you guys to throw a pick and then wonder, you know, why didn't the tip work? Well, you know, not all double move routes are created the same. So, you know, go and test your C routes, test your corner posts, test your post corners. Our Washington offense on the website, Gridiron Game Plans, has route that is arguably the best route in the game against man-to-man. You guys should definitely take a look at that. But again, guys, this is kind of the moral of the story here, is that when you're facing one step ahead, try to find routes that have multiple cuts in them to beat that ability. So, you know, just go through your playbook and look for something. For instance, a crossing route might be an example. The problem is not all crossing routes are created the same. You're going to have some crossing routes that have multiple bumps in them, and it'll play, you know, for instance, this one looks like you have two cuts in it. So you got the little vertical stem and then a slight slant release and then a second one. And then you're going to have to lab it. You're going to have to lab it and make sure that, you know, that second cut allows him to get separate. So you see 1 and 2, and you see how that route actually did beat that ability there. Just so happened that Gilmore was able to recover. So again, look for routes that have 2 little bends in them to take advantage of this, because they'll jump that first one. So there it is, 1, and then he gets beat. And then obviously you're going to throw that ball over the middle, and hopefully there's not a robber there to beat it. But, you know, again, just kind of lab through your playbook and see what you can find. This ability is not nearly as good as a lot of players out there make it seem. A lot of players actually say that one step ahead is the best man coverage ability out there. I jokingly call it the 1 foot in your ass ability, because it's really not that hard to beat if you just kind of look for a couple cuts in your route in general. Now, I will say that there is a man coverage ability out there that is dynamite. The pros are talking about it. We're going to talk about it tomorrow on Gridiron Game Plans in our vault. Break it down. Most importantly, how to counter it. Not necessarily showing it to you, because I mean the information's out there about the bench press ability, but we're going to do a lot of work tomorrow to demolish that meta. So make sure you guys check it out on the website. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, drop them below. Make sure to subscribe. We'll see you guys later with our next video. Until then, this is Zand. Get in the lab and good luck.